When your baby takes 30 to 45-minute crap naps, it sucks. So let's fix it quickly. I have 10 tips for you to help you extend your baby's naps. So starting with item number 1, if your baby cannot put themselves to sleep, they don't know how to self-soothe, then that's the biggest problem, and that needs to be fixed first. And before you even start working on naps, your baby needs to be falling asleep by themselves in their own space at bedtime. If they're not doing that, then you need to stop watching this video, even though I want you to watch all of my videos, but you need to go watch this video right here to help your baby fall asleep independently at bedtime. And then you can come back to this video, but bedtime is always going to improve before nap. The second thing is that your baby's sleep environment needs to be perfect. I mean, nothing's ever perfect, but it needs to be optimized for sleep. So especially during the day when it's bright out, your baby's room needs to be pitch black. If you don't have a blackout solution in your baby's room yet, I want you to click the link in the description box down below for blackout easy window covers. I have had these in my kids' rooms. My almost 9-year-old is begging me to take them out of his room now because he's like, Mom, I'm not a baby anymore. And I'm like, Mom, I don't care. I'm gonna put them in my room because they completely black out your bedroom, and it is such an easy and reasonably cost option. If you really can't afford that, or if you need something in the meantime, spray some water on your windows and then put some tin foil. I know it sounds weird, but it will stick with the water, and you could just put some foil up on the windows and they will be blacked out. It is amazing and incredible. This goes for babies or toddlers because your toddler still needs a nap too, and it needs to not be only 30 minutes long. But speaking generally towards babies, because they need several naps a day, and it needs to be very dark in there, pitch black, and they need to have consistent white noise. Now you might find that the white noise needs to be louder during the day to drown out daytime noises than it does at night, but you still want to test the decibels of the white noise and make sure it's somewhere around 50 decibels. The next thing that you need to focus on is if your child has enough sleep pressure. Are they tired enough? Maybe they're a little bit tired, but they still need maybe 30 more minutes of awake time in order to build enough sleep pressure to be able to connect one sleep cycle to the next to take a long nap. Long being an hour or hour and a half, max 2 hours. So this means that you need to make sure your child has enough awake time during the day. If you're not familiar with wake windows, grab my free baby sleep guide in the description box down below and download my free guide. You can print out the wake window chart, which will tell you wake windows for your baby's entire first year and then some. You're welcome. Now, going hand in hand with being undertired is the opposite end of that spectrum, but still in regard to wake windows. If your baby is overtired, they are going to have a harder time self-soothing and connecting their sleep cycles. So you need to make sure that their wake windows are age appropriate. Now, the next thing that I want you to look at is your baby's level of hunger. Now, we want to follow an eat, play, sleep routine. So your child is waking up in the morning, you are getting them up and ready for the day, you're gonna feed them, then they're gonna play, and then they're going to sleep. So you are not associating eating with sleeping, and your baby will have enough time to digest their food so they're not having tummy troubles when they're trying to sleep. If you're unsure of how often or how much your child needs to be eating, I highly recommend seeking out pediatric advice or speaking to a lactation counselor. But obviously, if your baby is not getting enough to eat before their nap, then they're going to wake up being hungry. So it's important to make sure that your child has a full belly and that they are not waking up starving after only sleeping for 30 minutes. Now, this next thing is difficult for parents because once you feel like your baby is awake, you want to rush in, but stop, okay? Don't rush in. You need to pause. Some babies are and by some I really mean a lot, many or most babies are active active, loud sleepers. When they are transitioning from one sleep cycle to the next, they may let out a cry. That doesn't mean they're upset. It doesn't mean they feel abandoned. It doesn't mean that they're lonely. It doesn't mean that they need help falling back to sleep. It might just mean that they're transitioning to a new sleep cycle and you need to give them the chance to do it independently. So step back, give them 5 to 10 minutes. See if they will fall back asleep and connect the sleep cycle on their own. I'm sure they can do it, so you need to just give them the space to do it. Give them that level of independence, and I'm like 90% certain you will be surprised. Now, the next thing that is very important that I do touch on here is that you need to focus on the concept that maybe long naps are not developmentally appropriate for your child yet. Naps consolidate and start to become predictable at 6 months. So if your baby is only 3, 4, or 5 months old, then having 30 to 45-minute naps is completely age appropriate. And that might mean that in the morning they take an hour-and-a-half nap, and then in the afternoon they take a 30-minute nap, and you're like, well, what the heck, I know you can do it. But it's not age appropriate for them to be on a predictable schedule yet. They still have immature sleep cycles. They still need to develop their circadian rhythm and the production of melatonin and all the things that biologically go into having longer naps. So you have to be patient. Give your child the ability to connect their sleep cycles and get back to sleep. But if they can't, it's okay. Which brings me to my next point. If your child needs help extending their nap, it's okay. It's not going to ruin sleep for all of eternity. If your child is younger than 6 months old, then extending their naps or assisting them to sleep is 100% age appropriate, and you might need to do this. But on the other end of the spectrum, if your child is older than 6 months old, then yes, you might need to sleep train for these naps to have them connect their sleep cycles so that they will sleep longer stretches. So that means that you may need to use crib hour. If you're not familiar with crib hour, then after this video, click this video right here to check out crib hour and learn more about how to extend your baby's naps. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot from it. Share it with a mom friend who may be struggling with short naps, and keep blooming. Mwah!